Just a little bonus thing, a little fun here. I want to talk about the Wizrd of Oz now. The Wizrd of Oz, of course, is an American classic as a film, but it was a book first, and it was written by a guy named L. Frank Baum. L. Frank Baum was a newspaper editor in the Midwest, and we don't have any idea for sure why he wrote the book or what he meant about it. But in the 1950s, a New York City high school teacher came up with a theory about what the book means. Now, we know that Baum was very interested in the whole gold-silver fight and the populist movement in general, and favored the coinage of silver. And so the theory is, and again it's just a theory, that the Wizrd of Oz is an allegory for all of this, where Dorothy, of course, is kind of the everyman. She's from Kansas, which would have been a pro-silver farming state. A tornado comes and whisks her away to the magical land of Oz. Now, the letters O-Z, of course, are the abbreviation for ounce. And the whole fight was always about ounces. How many dollars per ounce would it be for gold and for silver? So that was central to the whole thing. Now, when she gets there, her house lands on the Wicked Witch of the West. Now, remember, the West, California and Washington, were opposed to the coinage of gold. So if you were in favor of silver, the West was wicked. And, of course, quickly after that, her sister shows up, the Wicked Witch of the East, who's the main villain in the movie. Well, the East, of course, is where the banking centers were, and they were the ones opposed to inflation, and so they were the villains in the minds of those who wanted to coin silver. There is, of course, a yellow brick road, gold, right? Goes the theory. Now, this is important to understand. In the movie, her shoes are red, but in the book, they're silver. Red showed up better in Technicolor, so they changed it. But of course, silver was what the whole fight was about, and so you have this notion of walking down a gold road with her silver shoes to get to the Emerald City. Emerald, of course, green being the color of money. Now, along the way, she's going to meet a scarecrow, who the theory goes is the farmers. And it also deals with the stereotype of farmers being stupid. Farmers aren't stupid. If you think farmers are stupid, go out in the middle of a field and try to support yourself for the next 20 years. Good luck. She meets the Tin Woodsman, who represents the factory workers. And, of course, the stereotype here being he has no heart, as is often put out there about city folk, right? Now, the Cowardly Lion's a little more complex. Who's the Cowardly Lion? Well, the theory is the Cowardly Lion was William Jennings Bryan. As the book was written during the time when people were demanding that Bryan run for president, but he had not yet announced that he would. And so he was potentially a lion, but cowardly because he was unwilling to run. Now, this can go much further. People have suggested that the wizard was the president. I believe I remember right, Grover Cleveland was president at the time. And the idea that he was kind of an illusion. He was just a figurehead. He didn't really have any power. And the idea that if he wanted to, he could fix the problem. The monkeys are often cited as being Native Americans, who of course, were also great enemies to the farmers. But anyway, I'm sure there's more complex analogies in there somewhere, and you can look all that stuff up on the internet and find even more stuff. But it is an interesting take on the movie, and whether L. Frank Baum meant it or not, it is a nice way to help you understand the issue between silver and gold.